And thank you for joining me today. I'm Jan Jorgensen, and you're here at the Be the Light meditations every Wednesday morning. And every Wednesday morning, right about the time I'm brushing my teeth, I say, well, what's the topic going to be? Because if I think of it the day before or even the night before, it's not really in the pocket for what's happening at this moment. And if we're going to create a new world, we can't have our old attachment, our old agendas. And so this morning in the mirror, Spirit said, well, just talk about exactly what you're doing and why, and what's blocking you and what's frustrating you right now, because chances are that will resonate with a lot of people that happen to hear the call to come to this meditation today. So many of us, we want to move our life into the particles of our life. We'll talk about our consciousness later and choices and some of the ways we can navigate that. But how about our physical life? I've been watching and noticing that this room that I've been using for the Zooms didn't have quite the right sound. So I've been working on subsequent professionals in sound, new microphones, new systems for music. And so that's a process, and I had to be very patient with, because I'm 66 and technology is a learning curve. Then the lighting. Okay, so I got this big, I investigated it. But the other part is to move our life along in our material world. Sometimes we just do what we're used to doing until we see something better. And I've been seeing a lot of people sit in front of their libraries with their own books. Ta-da, my book, Passion Healed Me. And I said, wait a minute. I sit in a big room, it's dark, and I'm this face if the sunshine happens to be out, or the skylight. I've been a sitting duck waiting for the external world to somehow do something that I wanted it to do that I didn't even know I needed it to do, and it wouldn't do anyway. I had to take charge of this environment to get this message for you and people wanting to dial in who in the highest form possible. Okay? Now, I've always had this behind me, but I used to sit over there. And so you couldn't see it. And I know with the lighting, it has to be 2 feet behind. So I studied and watched what worked with other people. That's how we learn as children. And we somehow think we're in our 50s and 60s and we know it all. No, we're having learning curves of a humongous amount now, as we're not engaged with regular traditional life and social relationships. And we're talking to everybody through a little talking box. There's a lot to learn. We don't even pay them with paper dollars. What are those anymore? I guess the penny is obsolete, probably the nickel next. We're learning new things all the time in the material world, which is as it should be. Why? Because in your soul of souls, your deepest soul, you are a creative being. You are a creation, and creator works through you. So if you want something different to happen, you got to choose it. You got to think it. And you got to get new experiences to open the envelope to know, oh, this O-ring works perfect. Oh, I'll try this light. I'll put up my old velvet, really kind of tacky, kind of almost embarrassing velvet French curtains from my office with old rose sheets that I cut up and made roughly. And I said, that's going to block the light. So I am the queen of my physical environment here, so I can present the best in the best possible way. Now, why do I say all this? Because Spirit said, say what you are going through, and they'll extrapolate that and say, I've been trying to get this going. I've been trying to get that going. And Jan actually looked out into the world and said, what are other people doing? What's their learning curve, and how can I expand into that? Because again, the external environment isn't going to readjust itself for you. You get a vision And through your will and your consciousness, then you move everything around about you. And I have the perfect little thing. This is what I have here. I don't know, is that backwards to you? It's backwards. The seat of creation. I put this on my little table because I have to remember this seat, the seat that I am sitting in. Because to be honest with you, this morning I'm meditating and then I brushed my teeth and I said, well, still, what is the topic for today? And the topic is so glaring. It is the physics, the quantum rule. Things begin in the etheric first. And you can be conscious of the etheric or you can be unconscious. That is the energetic flows. When I began to think of setting this room up, there is an etheric picture I must make where in my visualization, my creative visualization. And the divine feminine has spades of this. The divine feminine has her intuition, a feeling, a nuance, and then she can go up and she can commune with spirit. So things happen. I'm going to say this again. In the etheric first, which is the imaginal, it's beyond thought because it's twinged with expansive, flowing, new divine energy, divine feminine energy, because the feminine brings things in the flow. The masculine says, these are the facts. I must create a room with this much wattage. Oh, it makes it too shiny. Well, okay, but the book says this much wattage. The feminine adjusts. She works with space. She works with the space around her in the earth elements and all of the elements. And there is a logic to it, and the logic is heart-based. That's what's been missing in our world. The frustration that I have is being trying to crammed into a left brain world. Everywhere I look. This week, I joined an art contest, and it said, one PDF with 3 pictures and this. And I said, oh, I could do that. Take me half an hour, blah, 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 blah. Today, oh no, here's a video on the form we want. And you know what I'm going to say? I've lost my interest. Heavens. Left brain, left brain, left brain, left brain. In the etheric lives potential disease. Do you know energetically, as your body starts moving towards decompensation, you vibrationally, through the frequencies of your voice, I can measure those and see where you are headed or going on 26 major disease processes energetically before it is established in your body as a physical anomaly, dis-ease. Diseases happen vibrationally. The thought of not enough money. There goes your adrenaline. There goes your dopamine. There's your checkbook. Everything in the world becomes this flight or fight all around money. And after a while, the muscles of your neck, your breathing, your inability to receive money all happened in the etheric. In the etheric, you may have been implanted vibrational milieus and patterns from your parents. Not good enough, only rich people have money. So if you are consciously accessing the etheric, that's where your magic wand can work. When you're working on the physical level, of course, you're moving widgets around, but everything happens at the imaginal etheric level. So that's why in our vibrations, we set a sacred space and we remove all of our thoughts. And we access our crown chakra so that we can become queens and masters of our environment and scan our etheric for any old contracting, squeezing patterns or thoughts that are making it down and becoming concrete, becoming materialized in our body, in disease and discomfort and environments that don't work. So that's why if people are having problems, I ask them 2 questions. Tell me about your meditation. Tell me about how often you go in and you still your mind and you empty out. And I don't say why I ask that. I want to ask them, are they connecting and seeing and communing with the causative factor? That part that is always informing you if you are not open and awake to it. So Spirit said that's kind of the catch-all of what you're going to work with the meditation, with the people on the call today and those that watch it later. Things happen in the etheric first. The great Saint Mary Magdalene is well documented that she would say, it is the use of our creative imagination where change begins. Years ago, there was a very forward-thinking group called Beyond War. And I remember telling the ladies, oh, this is so positive thinking, it's a Band-Aid. They said, no, we are thinking and envisioning, and that is informing our actions and choices to a world beyond war. So as we enter our meditation today, think of what in your life you would like to be beyond. Beyond pain, beyond fear, beyond limitation, beyond scarcity thinking. What would you like to be on the other side of? Because we're going to go there. Okay, let's start the meditation. Take a nice deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Beautiful. One more breath. And if you've done this with me for a few weeks, you're already beginning to feel and know that your body is like, oh, I'm going to get to sit in my throne and I'm going to feel good. So we embrace this feeling. As we begin to release our thoughts and our thinking, all of that was just to create a container of believability and buying in that this is good and safe and powerful. Take a nice deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Begin to feel the expansion and the freedom in your body. And this remembrance that you have the power to recreate anything. Imagine the etheric. The etheric is not some nebulous things. It's grids of information, of energy. It's grids of possibility. It's grids of time and space. It's grids of traveling. It's grids of communicating. All of this is available to you if you simply still your mind. So as we ask and intend to set this sacred space, we remove everyone else's energy from our bodily field now. We remove their thoughts, their agendas, and we remove our own emotions. As we are refining and redefining who we actually are in this moment, which is a consciousness that is free to express itself in the parameters of old-fashioned, outdated, etheric structural forms and highways that have informed you up till this moment. So we're going to give you, through this meditation, a sense of expansion and freedom. Can you feel it? We call in our spirit guides, the beings of light who assist. I almost said, and anoint us. I think when we do step in, we do have a bit of electromagnetic anointing to remember and be initiated back into our wholeness. It's like a fresh reset. Feel that your heart can expand as again we remember we were here to create as spirals, as beings of like corkscrews where things get tight for a while. Things need release, things need new ideas, and we pull it in, and there you go. As night follows day, we expand. So first, let's embrace that the creative process involves contraction and expansion. Excellent. Now back to your topic du jour. What would you like to be beyond? What would you like to experience? And be very specific about that as we enter into the next step of our Be the Light meditation, where we simply access the higher realms for more information, to know, to operationalize energetic flows. So if you've been working with me or other spiritual guides for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about, to just simply open up your crown chakra. And we will empty out. It's almost like an hourglass that the neck of it is right at your crown chakra, and that it is held, the etheric picture and the knowing and the seeing of the etheric pictures and the heavenly energies right at the top of our crown chakra. Just imagine it's being pulled open and everything is available to you. Your conscious, your unconscious, and everything in the etheric. The potentialities in the etheric. So this is where you are going to be your own guide. There are many potentials in your etheric. There are some that you don't want to happen. And every time you think about it, guess what? You give that picture breath and juice to grow. So if you are choosing to be beyond something, we are simply going to discreate it and dissolve it in the etheric realm. If you are choosing to embody or be or hold a different vibration, then we simply begin to paint. That's why I use painting, intentional creativity painting. You will begin to paint and form that new structure of that new reality. And maybe in this meditation, you'll be doing both. So simply use the words. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. I ask and intend to move beyond, and you state your intentions. And or I ask and intend to embody, become, to implant, to grow into this new vision. You choose whatever is coming to you now. Allow the dissolving or allow the blooming. We'll just take a few moments for this. So as we are working deeply in the quantum realms, we allow ourselves to see and infuse our own hopes and dreams as coming attractions, coming down and being made real with substance in this reality. And in this way, you are bringing the new forms of living, being, creating, eating, growing, making art, the heavenly, divinely aligned new forms in this reality. And that's what you promised to do. And that feels good. So just let all that flow in and imagine you're a tree trunk. And you're growing and you're holding that rooted in this Mother Earth through your divine feminine heart. Proudly, courageously, unfettered, undeterred, determined, and gently, 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 gently holding that space powerfully, powerfully, powerfully. Yes. Excellent. And knowing that this tree that you are does grow and bud, fruit, leaves, and there is that cycle again of letting go. So whatever cycle you are in, of growing or letting go, know that it is natural. While we're on earth, there are cycles. So our etheric dreams, we can't push the river. We plant the seed and then we allow. We give it the juice. We assist and support the good growth, the flowering, the germination of all. So that brings this meditation to a close. Let's see, it's a little bit shorter than usual. So if you're listening to this as a video later, just rest and let these energies keep flowing into you. Imagine that you're dropping down roots, and you might want to do a little journaling or draw a little picture and color it in. And that's another divine feminine beautiful tactic or process, is these creative imaginations. As we go throughout our day, we're distracted by the external. That's what we call ritual. When you draw a picture and you set it on your altar of remembrance of who you really are. An anchor, a crystal, a picture, or something, because that brings you back vibrationally to this experience and this feeling. And that's what the feminine does. I have a big mother tree. I was thinking of the mother tree. It has 3 big branches. And I have a crystal, a beautiful crystal sitting there. And I have a little holder for water. I have my Tibetan bell there for a while. And it feels like when I go in the forest and I see that, I say, aha, yes, the sound, the vibration of heaven on earth. And the crystals are the picture of structures of heaven on earth. And then I'm reminded, go to that space, Jan, be balanced. What are you doing and thinking in this very moment? So that would be a suggestion as we finish this meditation, is that you make some little remembrance of it. But for right now, I'm going to press stop on the recording. And if people would like, we can stop and chat, answer questions, and just hang out for a little bit. Do you feel that you have a message that you want to share with the world, but you feel like your voice is not being heard? We are here to help. We are SOAR with Sacred Circles, TV shows, radio shows, and workshops. We have created a special place for you to connect and find your voice in empowered community. Connect with us at soundandlighthealingarts.com.